Welcome to the Scoop with Barb. Look, on Thursday night, the last night of the DNC, I had not watched a minute of it. And they came out saying that Beyonce, well, first of all, they said there's a surprise guest at the DNC tonight, a musical guest. Somebody said it was Bruno Mars. Then everybody was saying it was Beyonce or Taylor Swift. And there's just more to the story. But guess what? None of them showed up. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And if you're interested in hearing my take on that, stay tuned.
Hey everyone, you're tuned in to the Scoop with Barb, bringing you the important updates and information you need to know. Let's get started.
All right, so here, like I said, I didn't watch the DNC all week. I already know who I'm voting for. I just had other things I was interested in doing, like watching women's basketball. And what else was I doing? Oh, I watched my stuff on YouTube. I'm down a rabbit hole over the Trump assassination attempt because we're going to get caught up on that here too, because there's been some updates. But that's what I've been doing. And so, first of all, here's what happened. Let me add this to the stage. Okay. This is the first thing I saw about it Thursday. It said, I've been sworn. This is from Angry Staffer, who I don't know. Nobody knows who that is. I mean, we don't know who that is. It's not officially, the White House or anything. It says, I've been sworn to secrecy, but you don't want to miss the DNC tonight. If you thought the Oprah surprise was big, just wait. Well, Oprah being on there really wasn't that big of a deal. And people are saying all kinds of things. And we're going to talk about, I'm going to show y'all Candace Owens, what she said about it. And I don't ever agree with Candace Owens, just a little bit, maybe bits and pieces, but I pretty much agree with her mostly on this, except some of the things she said about it. But the main thing about it. But yeah, they got people to watch. See, here it is. Spencer Raskoff on that day is talking about how high the energy is. And he says, the place is already packed, completely different from other nights. Rumors swirling that Beyonce will make an appearance. Get ready for an epic night. Well, it was a little bit of a letdown because all we got was Kamala Harris. I mean, yeah, I'm voting for Kamala, so I'm cool with that, right? But that's all we got. We got Kamala Harris. We didn't get any of these people singing. The Dixie Chicks, the Chicks, formerly known as the Dixie Chicks, did sing the national anthem. But that wasn't any big deal either. And Oprah being on, no, that's not a big deal. A big deal would have been Taylor Swift popping up out of a cake and singing one of her songs, and Travis coming out there and making out and then dropping to his knees and popping the question. That would have been different. And then there was also a rumor that Travis Kelce had notified the DNC, I guess. I think that's what they said. He had notified the DNC about being in attendance. Okay. Well, I mean, that would make you think it was going to be Taylor Swift. But no. I mean, it would be a safe place. And then TMC was saying, okay, TMC, like, look, here's their retraction.
That Beyonce was going to show up and give a performance. There was some
TMZ retraction starring Beyonce, except not really.
There were some rumors that Beyonce was going to show up and give a performance. There was some reporting, yes.
Who was reporting that?
It was us, and obviously it didn't happen.
TMZ lied. Who did they listen to when they went on the air or on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it to say that Beyonce?
Okay, yes, we got one wrong. On us, we got it wrong.
The update was funny.
Oh yeah, to quote the great Beyonce, we gotta lay our cards down, down, down.
Corny.
I liked it.
What if Beyonce was supposed to perform and had diarrhea or something?
Oh, let's put that up.
Congratulations, Madam Vice
What if Beyonce had diarrhea? I mean, come on. Now, there was even
I mean, where do we even
somebody
begin? I
saying
guess
that her plane had landed in Chicago. I just lost my X thing. But yeah, this went on for hours. It started sometime in the afternoon, and it didn't end until the balloon started falling. And I was like, I stayed up late for this. I go to bed early and I'm up. I'm still awake. The dogs are trying to go to bed. I'm like, no, we got to see who the surprise musical guest is. Nope, it was not. It was nobody. Now, they were also saying that it was going to be that George Bush was going to come in. He was going to come in with the Dixie. I'm going to call them the Dixie Chicks, okay? I've known him as the Dixie Chicks. I've seen them in concert twice. I call them the Dixie Chicks. So the Chicks, I said it right that time. The Chicks were going to come out holding hands with George Bush, who is why they lost all their popularity back in the day, because they spoke out against George Bush. Hey, Willow Blossom, good to see you. They spoke out about him, and they pretty much lost their careers over it because of, the split in politics, which wasn't anything like it is now. But even that, no, there was no George Bush. There was no Taylor Swift. There was no Beyonce. It was ridiculous. And then, like I said, I was mad. Let's go ahead and see what Candace said about it.
I mean, where do we even begin? I guess at the top of this week, you had the media trying to convince you that I was unhinged, that I had gone crazy because I was freaking out over the fact that the ADL was trying to rehabilitate a convicted pedophile. And that was not true. Obviously, everything they were saying was not the hype they did not deliver on. In other news, it looks like RFK Jr. has officially dropped out and endorsed in the chat. I have the raw footage of the video of me singing truly the last night of the convention. Of course, they premiered Oprah. We always expect Oprah. She's kind of a big get always for the Democrats. And she always gets a thunderous applause and gives a speech that,
hey, Betty Dan Boop,
really people don't agree with coming from her, but it's Oprah, so who cares? Here's what she had to say, a quick snippet.
From the redwood forest, love those redwoods, to the Gulf Stream waters, I've seen racism and sexism and income inequality and division. I've not only...
Oprah is probably not the best person to talk about, not getting what she wanted or being discriminated against. I know that maybe early in her career that was going on, but she's a billionaire now. And yeah, she's witnessed it. She's been there, but it's really hard to take anything from her as oh, poor pitiful Oprah, because she's very powerful. If she weren't powerful, they wouldn't have her on stage on the fourth night of the convention, the Democratic National Convention. So yeah, or was it the third night? I guess she was on the third night, but still.
Seen it. At times, I've been on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, here's what I'm going to say. Oprah's worth $2.7 billion. So whatever is going on between the redwood forest and the trees and the racism and sexism that she's receiving, I want it. I just want to say that, put it out there. Whatever she is getting, I want. I will take all of it for her. Like I said, it doesn't really matter what she says or how ridiculous it sounds with her wealth. People eat it up because it's Oprah, and that's acceptable. But then what happened was a staffer, an unknown staffer running an account, leaked this onto Twitter. They wrote, I've been sworn to secrecy, but you don't want to miss the DNC tonight. If you thought the Oprah surprise was big, just wait.
Now, if you looked at that, and I just showed it straight from Twitter, if you look at this, 15.9 million views. 15.9. Yeah, Willow, they promised a surprise guest. Well, the DNC didn't actually come out and say it. It started, from what I understand, with this angry staffer who posts on X all the time. 15.9 million views in, I don't know what time she did this, but August 22nd. I don't know how many hours. Let's say it was 24 hours. 15.9 million views is a lot of damn views. So people were excited. I didn't watch because of Beyonce or because of Taylor Swift or because of George Bush. I watched for the surprise. There was no surprise. They lied. I hate lying. Don't lie to me.
Don't want to miss the DNC tonight. If you thought the Oprah surprise was big, just wait.
Just wait.
And immediately people started saying it's Taylor Swift or it's Beyonce, because that's that. If you're going to say you're bigger than Oprah, you only got so many people that you can realistically pull from, and it would be Taylor Swift. And I was like, nah, it's not Taylor Swift. It's got to be a black person, because they got to go for the black vote always. They don't kind of do that nonsense with white people.
Now, this is the part, like I said, I never agree with Candace, rarely agree with Candace, but this part about the blacks and, I just don't like to bring that into my conversations. Did they have Oprah because she's black, or did they just have Oprah because she's Oprah? Or Beyonce, do they do it to get the black vote? Does that get black vote? If Taylor Swift came out and said, I'm voting for Kamala, does that mean all of her fans would? All of her fans that are old enough to vote, would they? Because, are you that swayed by people that you do what they suggest? Because if you are, vote for Kamala, because I'm swaying you to do that. I'm just saying, some people have a lot of power and some people have a way to persuade people to do what they want to do. So again, would bringing Beyonce on there get Kamala millions of votes? I don't know.
People, Taylor Swift is who they roll out when they want to get people watching the NFL that don't traditionally watch the NFL, right? This is not going to be a good get for the DNC.
And then she's insinuating that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce aren't really in a relationship. They've just got her pretending to do this so that her fans watch the NFL, which kind of happened. It would be like, the Caitlin Clark effect on women's basketball. It was the same way with Taylor Swift on the NFL. A lot of people don't like her because, she's on the NFL, quit showing her on the camera. This is about football. But don't you know, it got more fans watching football because Taylor Swift was there all on camera. You think it's a combo? I think everybody's about identity, though. It's like, we're just a really split country. And I just wish that we could undivide and rather we could unite, because when 9/11 happened and George Bush went out there and most of the United States, we banded together because we had an enemy. Supposedly, these bad people from another country came in and did what they did to us. And we banded together because we wanted to, we're Americans. But now with politics in the last 10 years or so, we're so divided. It's not about we're Americans. It's about we're MAGA or we're Democrat or they're bad and we're good, and all that does is continually cause conflicts in our society.
And so I was like, Beyonce sounds about correct, because they do wheel her out. Typically, she notoriously was there the night before we went to the voting polls for Hillary Clinton. I just will never forget that. It was her. It was Jay-Z, and Black America was like, that's it. I am with her. So I was like, okay, here it is. Beyonce, she is coming. And then we were kind of warming up in the evening, and they brought out another young woman named Amanda Gorman, who is a poet. I'll tell you some other stuff about her. She's a young poet who graduated from Harvard in 2020. And she has a degree in sociology. This woman's been on the cover of Time. She also delivered a poem, the youngest ever to deliver a poem at an inauguration. She did that for Joe Biden in 2021.
Y'all remember the young woman, the poet that came out? I don't typically watch these. I did watch back when Hillary was running because I happened to be more involved in politics at that time and had recently met Hillary. And also, I had several friends who were at the DNC. They had nearly front, not front and center, but front and side. They were near, Arkansas was near the front. And so, I could see people I knew there and everything. So, yeah, I watched it. I had less going on then because I didn't have as many distractions because I didn't play around with YouTube back then.
So she is big. That's like, she was like the warm-up act for Beyonce. And the poem was, I'm just going to let you guys listen to it.
We're going to hear a poem.
We gather at this hallowed place because we believe in the American dream. We face a race that tests if this country we cherish shall perish from the earth, and if our earth shall perish from this country.
I don't know what to say. I'm going to say something nice. First off, she has amazing skin. Her skin is glowing. She's a very beautiful young lady. I'm just not sure what poetry is anymore. I don't know. I just remember poetry being somewhat more complex. That to me just sounded like she was talking in a slow tone. But, my theory on the education system, it's not a shot at Amanda Gorman, is that everybody's getting degrees and we're handing out more degrees than we've ever handed out. And I'm just not sure if it's...
Now, Candace is someone who dropped out of college. Dropped out. She's smart. I'm not going to say she's not smart. I'm not going to say that because I did finish college that I'm smarter than anybody. But you're going to diss somebody. She's dissing somebody and talking about the education system, but she dropped out. Willow Blossom says, I've always been left, but no party represented things I felt important. So you get forced into a single issues voting. Yeah, Willow. Yeah, I got what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
The same pool of candidates that we had some decades ago when you were allowed.
What I can't do is I can't vote for what happened on January 6th and the lives that were lost and the danger that put our representatives and our representatives in Congress, their lives were in jeopardy. And there was just a mob of people breaking windows and doing all kinds of things to get in there. You can protest, but you don't break windows and scare the bejesus out of people and cause, everything that was caused. And we've got videos of all that. So it's out there, but that's just me. I mean, I could never vote for that again. I never voted for that, but I couldn't do that.
To go to Harvard. Like, I'm not sure if David Hogg graduating from Harvard is a good indication of where the education system is going. But like I said, she was the warm-up act, and at least her hair, skin, she looks amazing. And we were going, okay, like, we're getting bigger, we're growing here, where are we headed? And then TMZ, they always have an inside scoop. They dropped it. They said it is confirmed. Beyonce performing.
TMZ, you're like, we know they're tabloidish, but they don't typically have their stories wrong. It's just that they've got people that send them things. I know Gypsy Rose was supposedly sending them things because they pay for it. Beyonce performing at DNC's final night. There you go, TMZ. But it was a lie.
At the DNC's final night, 3 exclamation points, and the internet got hyped. The article read, Beyonce's in Chicago and getting ready to pop out for Kamala Harris in the final night of the...
And she doesn't pronounce Kamala right. It's Kamala, Kamala. Even those little girls got out there and showed y'all how to do it, how to say it. Why do people insist on saying her name wrong? That doesn't take away from her. It takes away from you, not her. Willow Blossom says during all the BLM riots for months, many people died and so much property damage. Yeah, I know, Willow. I know that was bad too. I know all of that. And I'm not educated enough in those riots or really, I've just seen and read about what happened in DC at the Capitol at the Capitol. So a riot, yes, the riots were horrible. The Black Lives Matter riots were terrible. People were getting hurt, but I just what happened in DC, in our nation's capital, at the building, the Capitol building where everything happens. I mean, if it weren't so bad, they wouldn't be getting put in prison.
Democratic National Convention. Multiple sources in the know tell us Queen Bee will be the big surprise performer as VP Harris officially accepts the Democratic Party's nomination.
About all that, I know that went on a lot longer. So, with time, I don't even know how many people died in DC that day. I just know that it was a big mess and that it could have been stopped many times during that event.
To run for president. And then they were correct. They wrote, as you'd expect, Beyonce's appearance is a huge deal, not only for Harris and the party, but in Chicago as well. We're told Chicago PD is on high alert as it's involved in security for Beyonce at the United Center Arena, as it should be. The Queen is here and she's going to get all the black votes for the Democratic Party. That's what they need.
I'm going to say they had so much security there because the one night, was it Monday night or Tuesday, whenever it started, the president, the current sitting president of the United States, Joe Biden, was there. Kamala was there. I mean, they had so much security that you couldn't even, I don't think we can even imagine. I don't think Beyonce would get more security. She would need security, but not there at the building. She wouldn't need security, but they had boundaries for miles out of, not miles, I don't know how far around, but anytime you have a sitting president and the vice president together, you're going to have a lot of security, Secret Service even.
And so it was official. And some people were even celebrating because they told you so. Like Don Lemon, he was giddy. Take a listen.
Beyonce is confirmed performing at the DNC. Didn't I tell y'all?
He's such a weird person. I love and hate him at the exact same time. I can't explain it. He's just so Don Lemon, you gotta appreciate it. Didn't I tell y'all? So people were like, yes, it's amazing. It's happening. And then what happened next was that it didn't happen at all.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
It didn't even kind of happen. Mm. Well, maybe if you count Kamala Harris, when she hits the stage, she walked out to Beyonce's song, Freedom. And she just came out there and people went crazy and they heard the Freedom song and probably a little bit, they still thought, okay, maybe Beyonce's around the corner and she's behind her. Yeah. But no, that was it. It was just Kamala Harris. And so instantly, obviously, the left-leaning networks worked overtime to kind of spin this to the people to make them realize, this is not disappointing. We lied to you and we leaked.
Let's start calling you Candace. How can you say her name different?
Fact that Beyonce was coming and she didn't come, but you should still be encouraged because take it away, CNN.
In anticipation here and elsewhere that there may be a special guest. I am told by Democrats that Kamala Harris was their guest. They did not want a celebrity at the end of this convention to essentially compete with her. One senior advisor telling me this is a deadly serious election. And if you looked at the end of this program, having Leon Panetta come on, the former defense secretary, really presenting Vice President Harris as a plausible commander in chief, that is one of the reasons I'm told that there was not a celebrity performance at the end.
And he probably deserves to be punched in the face for that excuse, just saying basically Kamala is your new Beyonce. Take it or leave it. We didn't want anybody to take away the energy away from Kamala.
Yeah, I agree with you, Willow, that we need some old school journalism. But still, I don't know. We need some real journalists, but with the internet, just like I'm sitting here, I've been in journalism as a career, but I'm not bound by anything. Candace is not bound by anything. All these YouTubers that go on and talk about crimes and the intimate details of people's lives who have lost children and everything, that's not journalism. I think the internet has ruined that. But I'm with you. I don't like mainstream media. I mean, I hate the rights media. I hate, and I will show clips from Fox News, but I don't like Fox News at all. And I feel like my opinion is that people tend to watch, to get like, we're talking here, me and Willow, and she's got different opinion from me and we're talking about it. And that's cool. But a lot of times in people's chats, even in you could see like in news chats, people are just going at it. But the big channels, even on YouTube, they can't look at chat and talk. You can't. I don't have but 6 people in here. I can, I can chat back and forth. Hey, Marie, I can chat, with y'all and allow differences of opinions, and we don't even have to fight about it. But it just seems like, back to my point, is people watch what is that when you're in a chat and you're just like agreeing with everything? They watch what they believe. And so like I watch Candace because I don't believe the same way as she does. Even a lot of the things she's saying, I was just mad about Beyonce, about being lied to. She's taken it a lot farther with discrimination, and they did this because they're, the blacks and da-da-da-da-da. But we can talk about it, and not just get the feedback. And that's why, like, I watch different things, but a lot of people, like, they'll just say, okay, I'm on the left. I used to watch a lot of CNN and stuff, but I just don't think they're very good anymore. I get a lot of my news off the internet. That doesn't mean it's not news sources, but I listen to different people, whether I agree with them or not. Oh, is that it, Willow? There's just Fox? Yeah, we do. We do have a lot of just opinions. You're right. We have a lot of opinions, and just like when I go live or make a video, it's my opinion. Yeah, Candace is on this particular thing. Candace is just talking about Beyonce was. You'd have to go back to the first, Marie. It's about the DNC. It's about not having this guest on that even TMZ said was going to be there. Let me finish up with her.
Like, this is your new Beyonce. So we said it was Beyonce, but what we meant is like, it's kind of like a Beyonce, Kamala
like
is the new thing. She's black and we expect you to worship her. And so what if she doesn't sing or she can barely speak any English? We saved it for the end because we wanted to introduce you to your new black, formerly Indian American queen. And I don't think that made much sense. I also really appreciated when he said, this is a deadly serious election. I mean, we're not here to play games and make you think that you should have, celebrities to follow. That would be, by the way, a very good policy, that we shouldn't be using stars to attract votes. I just feel like maybe that CNN reporter forgot that they had already brought little John out on stage.
But don't both parties bring out celebrities? It's all, and even at was it at the convention, the Republican convention, that they played Celine Dion and she's suing them? They played Titanic, My Heart Will Go On, at something to do with Trump. I think it was at the convention. I don't know. It might have been at one of his rallies, but My Heart Will Go On. Why? And why do you not get permission from the musician before you go play their music like that? Anybody. I don't care what party you are. You saw that? I heard about it, Betty. Whoa.
Stage, remember? Take a listen.
Celine Dion.
Georgia, how do you cast your vote?
Yeah! deadly serious election, y'all. Deadly serious. So it was the old bait and switch. It happens, and it shouldn't happen, but it did. And we're going to have to just accept that. And I appreciate everybody making TikToks explaining how upset they are by this. And this is one young lady who took to TikTok to vent her frustration. Take a listen.
Whoever started the rumor that Beyonce was going to be at the DNC convention tonight, I hope your pillow stays hot on both sides. The way that I stayed up to damn near midnight to have Beyonce all in my mouth like liquor just for y'all to play in my face, you should be ashamed of yourself. I'm like 15 minutes in and it's about to be over, and I see a tweet that says Beyonce's not even coming. Why would y'all play like that? Like, why would y'all play like that?
Yeah, why?
The whole thing was good, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it from start to finish. But why would y'all sit there and tell us Beyonce was coming when you knew she wasn't? I'm going to sleep.
First and foremost, I completely agree with this girl. And I'm going to start saying that to people. Like, you know what I give you, what I curse you with? Yeah, a hot pillow on both sides. Because how dare you pull the old, what we now refer to as the bait and switch, and not bring her out. And I also want to point to the fact that girl just riffing sounded to me like modern poetry. Get that girl a scholarship to Harvard, put her on the cover of Time magazine. And she also similarly has great skin. But she asked the question, why would they do this? And so I just want to very quickly answer you.
Yeah, I want to know, like, she's going to tell us her opinion. What do y'all think? Why did somebody start this rumor and it was so strong that TMZ went with it? Other news, it was everywhere. Why did they do that? It's not okay to lie to us. And do we always get, we get lied to by our government, don't we? I know during the COVID-19, we were told a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was started by an angry staffer, One Red Rose. I think that's where it started. That's the first I know of it. And that's what she attributed to starting. And that's probably where it started, but we don't know how it spread. And then it was Beyonce just got off her plane. Her plane landed. They've got all this security. Let's hear what Candace said about it.
Because they know that if they suggest that Beyonce is going to be somewhere, that all Black Americans will pay attention. And all they actually wanted you to do was pay attention to everything else that was happening that evening to bring you and draw you into the party, not on the basis of their ideas, not on the basis of their values, but on the basis of, hey, you like Beyonce, we've got Lil Jon. We earlier gave you Megan Thee Stallion raising money. Don't you see we are the party that at least recognizes that Beyonce is the queen. And again, this is your new, formerly Indian, now fully Black queen, Kamala Harris. Take it or leave it, ladies and gentlemen. And for me personally, I just would like to leave it. And that's all I'm going to say on that topic. I want to throw it to one of our amazing sponsors.
Okay, so that's what she said all about it. Hold on.
The way we can do some good in the world. If you've heard about 7 Weeks Coffee, you're already drinking coffee. Why not drink coffee that aligns perfectly with conservative?
But what about when they lie to us? Like, why are you allowed to tell us things that aren't true? And what I was going to say, back when COVID was going on, we were told a lot of things, and a lot of people didn't. Didn't understand it. But yeah, I showed y'all earlier that started, and then we saw the TMZ retraction. I showed y'all that. I gotta find y'all again. I have lost you guys. Here it is. Okay. Can y'all hear me? Because y'all are now on here. Now we're back. Okay, yeah. I need to stop sharing because I got that all messed up. Okay, we're back. Can y'all hear me still? uh okay. Okay, so Willow says it's all for the politicians to keep their jobs and access insider trading. Yeah, I think politics is dirty. I have friends who are in politics. I would say, you know, some on the statewide level. I never. I mean, I've volunteered for a few campaigns, but I'm not like all into that. I do trust my friends that are in politics, but it's politics, and there's always a lot of deception and mistruths and politically correct statements. This is how we have to say this. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now I got to try to share this again because I messed up. I'm not very good at this. All right. Incredible news. On Thursday night at the DNC convention, Beyonce will take the stage just before Vice President Kamala Harris accepts the Democratic Party's nomination for president and delivers her significant speech. Well, it didn't happen, and it was all over X. And then, I don't know who Brooke Peterson is, but yeah, 8-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus. It just didn't happen. If Beyonce or Taylor Swift doesn't appear at the DNC tonight, I just hope we can all remember that the most important person who actually needs to be speaking is the next president of the United States. Why weren't we all excited about the next president of the United States? Because half the country doesn't like her and half does or votes. You know, it's just this way in politics. We vote for who we agree with, but we don't agree with all the time. You have to vote who you're more in favor of. So George Bush, Taylor Swift, and Beyonce finding out they're performing at the DNC together. That's funny. Yeah, but she came back home this week, Marie, before that night. They always run on the same lies in election cycle, then do nothing till the next cycle. They only need a few years under their belt to get lifelong benefits. They make a lot of money if you think about it, because, you know, you don't have to think about it. Politicians who get into office early in their lives and don't have wealth already, like Trump already had his buildings and everything. I don't know, like, watch these senators and people get so rich when their salaries aren't that good. Well, there's a reason they're getting money. They're not just getting money. Oh, he's a U.S. senator, let me send him some money. No. It's to sway them. And so we're run by the big corporations. Whoever has the money to give the politicians. That's how it all happens. It's all about the money. They don't get rich because they're public servants. Public servants are the ones who don't get rich. They're the ones sitting behind the curtain doing the work. The politicians are the ones who come out and we see their faces. And I'm not saying they don't work, but you know what I mean? Second home allowance, and most scam their expenses and get away with it. Oh, no, here they get huge amounts of money, millions of dollars. Biden's got houses all over the place, mansions. It's just crazy. Here's what y'all remember Clay Aiken from American Idol? He says, if you're going to show up and perform at the DNC tonight, please bring your own audio mixer. Whoever has been mixing the audio for the singers the past 3 nights has no idea how to mix for music. You deserve better. Well, Clay, she didn't even make it. She didn't make it. She did not make it. She wasn't even there. And then you got people laughing at making fun of Wall's son, who is neurodivergent. Yeah, it's all corrupt. It's all corrupt. Based on the way the pundits are talking, here's my list of who could be the surprise guests at the DNC tonight. God, Beyonce, or Jesus. That's what Jackie Jennings said. That day it happened, on the 22nd. We all know this is all history now. It's in the past. But who was swayed to watch the Democratic National Convention? Maybe an advertiser did it. Hey, we're going to be advertising during this. Maybe the advertiser was the committee to elect the next president of the United States, Kamala Harris. Maybe that was the money that was poured into this. Oh, y'all put this on. Here, TMZ, here's a rumor for you. It's true. It's true. Beyonce's going to be here. Yeah, the more people you got watching, the more money, the advertising dollars and everything. Whoever told Kamala Harris to use Beyonce Freedom as her entrance track at the DNC may have just won her the election. That entrance gave me chills. Well, Vic, it didn't give me chills. I mean, like I said, I'm voting for her, but that doesn't mean that any of that gave me chills. David Walker was like, my God, could you imagine the destruction on the internet if Beyonce and Taylor Swift jointly introduced VP Harris for her speech tonight at the DNC? I want to will it into existence, to be honest, because the aftermath would be glorious. Oh my God. I'm not sharing that with y'all. I thought I was sharing that with y'all. All right. Well, let me share it with y'all so you can't see me as much. Not us watching the entire Olympics closing ceremony and the entire DNC because of Beyonce. And she was at home the whole time washing her hair and drinking whiskey. People vote because they like a song. Exactly, Willow Blossom. If you're a voter and you're voting because Beyonce sang a song while your candidate came out, does your vote count? I mean, because I'm a childless dog lady and my vote counts and I'm important. My vote is that Beyonce is the special guest tonight at the DNC because that looks a lot like the drum line in her live performance at Freedom. Well, no, that drum line actually did play. I actually saw that. And performed on the last night of the convention. Let's see. Beyonce was home washing her hair. Why do they lie to us, though? That's what I want to know. Listening. Oh. Let's see what this is. Oh, but that's Beyonce and she's asleep.
Like the entire week, I've been very demure, very mindful, very cute. I'm reporting on the very last day of the Democratic National Convention here in Chicago, Illinois, and I feel like the entire week I've been very demure, very mindful, very cutesy. But ever since I saw Ann Coulter say this about Tim Walz' son, who is disabled, I'm going to say, fuck that shit. It's all out of the window. Man, fuck you, Ann. Don't nobody give a fuck about a woman who died 10 years ago and is decomposing and still dyes her hair with peroxide in the motherfucking sink. What the fuck do you know about raising children, okay? Childless monkey women for Trump. That's exactly what you are because you look like the Wicked Witch of the motherfucking West and need to throw water on your ass and make you melt. We are tired of this shit. And as Michelle Obama said earlier this week, we're no longer going high when y'all go low. We're going to drag your bitch ass to hell where your unseasoned succubus ass belongs. Fuck you. I'm reporting on the very last day of the Democratic National.
Oh, that was killer. Oh, she was going at Ann Coulter. Ann Coulter made fun, posted a, let's find that while we're just talking crap. Ann Coulter made a post. I ain't following her. Oh, yeah, she took it down. I forgot. She took it down. So maybe somebody posted it. I had it the other day. Somebody had to post it on here. She was making fun of a child, a 17-year-old boy who has learning disabilities. Here, give me just a second to find it because Tim Wall's son. There's his son, and here's what she said. She wrote, "Talk about weird," with this picture of Tim Wall's son crying, and he's very emotional, very over the top. If you have a child with a learning disorder, they're neurodivergent. I don't remember what it was. Oh, I forgot his disability, but it's called a nonverbal learning disability. And what that is basically not really understanding how to interact with other people. And he also has ADHD, not always responding in what's an appropriate way to respond in public, not being able to read other people's nonverbal cues. Like a lot of autistic people have that issue where they don't get cues from us. It's like trying to text with somebody and not being able to hear the tone of voice and the way they interact. These people who have this have an inability to interact sometimes appropriately. And for her, and the weird thing comes in because people were saying that Trump's weird and he's been mad about it and he's been telling people to not say he's weird. And so a lot of Democrats have jumped on that and said he's weird, just a back and forth. But yeah, she posted talk about weird and then posted that and then took it down. So, I mean, you shouldn't be making fun of someone who's got a handicap. I know you're not supposed to use that word anymore. When Trump mocked a handicapped person, to me, that should have been the end of it for a lot of people. For him, yeah, that's a lot of sensory overload, Willow. I couldn't be there. I couldn't. I don't have autism that I know of, but I have a lot of sensory overload issues when I'm in and around a lot of people, and I don't always have the best reactions when like I'm having a disagreement with somebody who tore up my yard, and I'm having a little having issues with handling that in person. I just got a little upset. But when Trump did this, he was making fun of a reporter who actually his hands are like that. And to me, that should have ended a lot of votes for him. This is another thing that's going on. People are saying that Walls, and that right there, he just grabs his son, he pulls him, and people are saying he was angry. And well, there's a teleprompter there. It looks like his son walked behind it and the daughter walked in front of it, so he was pretty close to it. And he did look mean when he did look put out when he pulls in. What do y'all think? Watching that, what do y'all think? Do you think Tim Walz is the nice man we think or not? Because also, there was a thing a few days ago when he came out on stage and he and his wife, like, they didn't embrace. They kind of it didn't seem right. I'm not a bot. I'm not a specialist in all the cues and everything. my son would be rocking back and forth with that noise. I feel like they used a lot of people again for identity cards. I didn't like, well, I don't mind his son coming out, but if he's not able to handle the stage, then he shouldn't. But honestly, what I'm feeling there's something weird about Walls and his wife, the way they interact. I'm going to see if I can find that let me see if they do it here. He's much more affectionate with his wife, at least the body language cues that we get. It's not going to show in this video. I'll have to try to find that because I started watching this. Bye, Marie. Thanks for being here. He does. But I don't know. It just, to me, it looks like he's pulling on him and kind of like, get over here. But I've watched it a million times and I don't see what the son would have been doing wrong. But I do know when they came out and hugged that he doesn't seem like everything's A-okay with his wife. Oh, Coulter doesn't have children. She's does anybody, are y'all picking up anything from the two of them? Anybody? Well, I just think it's all a mess. I do think that no matter what happens, we should all go vote, and you have to take into account the most that's better for what's going to happen for you, for the country, and what they tell us they're going to do most of the time never happens. We don't know. We don't know when they're saying, well, it's just like Beyonce is going to be there. Well, that didn't come from the DNC, but there are ways for politicians to get things out, right? Y'all have an opinion on that? Anybody? What's everybody going to do today? Anybody? Anybody got anything to say? All right. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about. The crazy Beyonce's going to be on stage, but she wasn't. So disappointing to be lied to. I don't like to be lied to. You don't like to be lied to. Politicians need to get it together. TMZ needs to get it together. Relaxing. Yeah, me too. I have already cooked for my dogs today and did this, and I got a short coming up a little bit later. But thanks for being here, people. People, if you're new to me, please subscribe for more of this kind of stuff. Hit the like button, please, if you're watching. If you watch on the replay, thanks for watching the replay and for even being on my channel. I appreciate it. Everybody have a fabulous Saturday. And always be kind to you. Be kind to you and take care of yourself. And I'll see y'all soon.